One of the female examiners received a photo of a colleague's penis. And then he said to the young woman, obviously, if I walked into this office and you were naked, I'd F you right here. Did you read that?
I did, Senator.
You and your colleagues ought to hide your head in a bag. This is no country for creepy old men. And they got no place at the FDIC.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Capitol Insights. Today we're diving into a heated Senate exchange where Senator John Kennedy grilled the FDIC chair, Martin Gruenberg, over some shocking allegations. This is one of those moments in politics that just grabs your attention. From workplace culture scandals to big questions about banking regulations, it's all on the table. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button on Capitol Insights for more updates on breaking news and key discussions like this. Let's get into it. So, right off the bat, Senator Kennedy didn't waste any time. He aggressively questioned FDIC Chair Martin Gruenberg, asking, "What the hell is going on at the FDIC?" The senator referenced troubling reports about the agency's internal culture, and you could just feel the tension. Kennedy was not holding back. He wanted answers, and he was determined to get them. Gruenberg, in response, acknowledged the seriousness of the issues, but that didn't seem to satisfy Kennedy. It was clear that this wasn't going to be an easy conversation for the FDIC chair. Then, it got even more intense. Kennedy brought up some shocking allegations about sexual harassment within the FDIC. According to these reports, female employees were allegedly told they needed to use sex to get ahead. It gets worse. Kennedy mentioned specific incidents, like a female employee receiving a sexually explicit photo during lunch, and another male colleague making highly inappropriate, vulgar comments. Gruenberg admitted he had read these reports, but it was clear Kennedy wasn't satisfied with the response. This part really showcased how toxic the FDIC's workplace culture allegedly became. Next, Kennedy brought up a 2020 Inspector General report that described the FDIC's culture as something out of Gruenberg admitted to reading the report, but also stated that, at the time, he didn't take action because he wasn't the chairman yet. This is where Kennedy really started drilling him. He wanted to know why Gruenberg and the rest of the FDIC board didn't do anything. The allegations were from years ago, and Kennedy was clearly frustrated that no one had stepped up to address these issues sooner. One of the key moments came when Kennedy asked about the fiduciary obligation the FDIC board had to its employees, the banks, and the public. Gruenberg seemed to deflect responsibility to the FDIC chairman at the time, saying the day-to-day management falls under their leadership. Kennedy wasn't having any of it. He made it clear that the entire board should have taken action, not just one person. At this point, Kennedy delivered a pretty scathing remark: "You and your colleagues ought to hide your head in a bag." Ouch! He was furious that a culture like this was allowed to continue unchecked.
What the hell's going on at the FDIC?
It's a troubling question, Senator. I read the report as you did. As I indicated earlier, it is deeply disturbing and troubling, and we're going to bring all the resources of the FDIC to bear to understand what is going on, what has occurred, and how we can most effectively address it.
How long have you been at the FDIC?
I joined the board as a member in August of 2005.
Okay. Almost 20 years then, huh?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever sexually harassed an employee at the FDIC?
No, sir.
Apparently you're the only one. I just find this incredible. A former female employee recalled her male colleagues saying women needed to use sex to get ahead at the FDIC as they stared at her. Did you read that?
I did, Senator.
Quote, according to one young woman, it was just an accepted part of the culture. One of the female examiners received a photo of a colleague's penis. During lunch with an examiner, another young female employee who had become friendly with this person she was having lunch with, the guy she was having lunch with complained to her about his marriage, telling her he wasn't having enough sex. And then he said to the young woman, obviously, if I walked into this office and you were naked, I'd F you right here. Did you read that?
I did, Senator.
Did you read the 2020 Inspector General's report when it said that the people at the FDIC were acting like they were in Animal House or Porky's Revenge? Did you read that report?
I read the Inspector General report.
And
Senator.
what'd you do about it?
Well, I was not chairman at that time. There were 15 recommendations, if I may say, 15 recommendations in that report, and I believe the agency addressed all 15 of those.
What did you do about it personally? What was your position at the FBI?
I was a member of the board at the time, but
Yeah,
I
and
was
what
not.
did you do about it personally?
At that time, I didn't have the responsibility of the
You didn't do
chairman.
anything, did you?
Not at that time, Senator, no.
Okay. Did any of your other fellow board members do anything?
As a general matter, that falls to the chairman who's responsible for the day-to-day
Or was
management.
somebody else's problem, not yours?
No, well, I was a member of the board to the extent that we were consulted, but in this matter, it's really a management.
You didn't think you had a fiduciary obligation to those young women and to the organization and to the banks that put up the money?
Well, certainly as a board, we had that obligation, but it really falls to the chairman to take the lead on this.
Somebody else's fault.
Well, it was a
I mean, that's
chairman.
what you're saying, isn't it, Mr. Chairman?
No, I think the board,
Sounds to me like it.
well, not, Senator, if I may say, board certainly has a oversight responsibility, but in the day-to-day management of the agency, which matters like this would fall to, I think it's reasonable to expect the chairman to take the lead.
Well, when the banks last spring screwed up out in California, you blamed it on their board, didn't you?
I think the report that was done on the failure found that the root cause of the issue was the management of the institution.
Right.
They also found accountability for the supervisors.
The board was blameless, is that right? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think the
Kind of
agency,
like the board at the FDIC, it's blameless?
if I may say, Senator, I think the report found, and I think I would indicate that we shared a responsibility as a supervisor.
You and your colleagues ought to hide your head in a bag. This is no country for creepy old men. And they got no place at the FDIC.
So there you have it, an intense Senate grilling session that covered everything from workplace harassment to major financial regulations. Kennedy wasn't pulling any punches, and Gruenberg struggled to defend himself and the FDIC. This exchange is definitely a moment to remember, and it raises serious questions about leadership accountability. If you found this breakdown helpful and want more content like this, make sure to that subscribe button on Capital Insights and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.